What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. Now, let me get right into the video. Blue Blood Sports TV has a live stream going on, and he basically is talking about the third fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. And I saw something that it just, after I watched the video and what he was saying, it just didn't add up. The video is titled, Deontay Wilder denounces the WBC title after the Fury trilogy. So I'm listening. You know, did Wilder finally speak up and say something or whatever? And not that I really expected him to, because I'm used to the clickbait. I'm used to people saying one thing and then they say something completely different once you get on the channel, and they're not even addressing what they said, what the title is with facts. Okay. He said some things. He's highly opinionated with what he thinks as if they're facts. So when he's speaking, he's saying this didn't happen, that should have happened, this, that, whatever, and how come this and that, and because this is what it was, and without proof of. Okay, he said, okay, it said that Austin Trout was the special guest. I didn't stick around that long, and like I said, the only reason I even checked in was because of the title. So once I saw that, and I'm watching it now, listen to what he said. I'm going to get to the points of why I'm even doing this video. He harped on for a long time, he harped on the fact that Mauricio Sulaiman supposedly said that Wilder's fighting for his career in his third fight. Now, even if you feel like that was a bad choice of words, okay. Like I said, I don't have any trust in any of these people or put things past people. I don't know them personally. But the fact that he harped on it and he made examples, he said, when Canelo Alvarez lost to Floyd Mayweather, he was in the same situation. Because think about it. He had a loss in his record and he had a draw in his record. And did they say that, you know, this was, Canelo was fighting for his life when he fought? Okay, that was a really stupid, that was a terrible example. Why? Canelo's first loss, officially, okay, his first loss was to Floyd. He fought Gennady Golovkin years later. So I don't even know why that was said. Plus, he got outboxed, he got spanked, he got schooled, okay? And not only that, but you saw him have other fights and he still was able to accomplish more things, other things, win some more fights, win some more titles, okay? So like I said, even if it was a bad choice of words, but I'll address that too. First off, if you want to compare that, you can't compare it. And he lost to the pound for pound best fighter in the world, right? But like I said, he didn't leave there with he didn't have a dent in his head. According now, all these things that they were saying to defend Wilder. Now, to say that, oh, but it was the same situation, the same scenario. No. I don't think Canelo, I mean, I'm sure he felt the shots, but I mean, he wasn't knocked down. Okay, he didn't have, oh, I had leg complications. It was all these excuses, right? He clearly lost the fight. Now, people made excuses saying that he was green after that and all that. He wasn't ready after they pumped him up to be, you know, the guy to beat Floyd. Okay. Skip all through the silly parts. Now, let's go to the next example he made. He said when Evander Holyfield fought Mike Tyson, it was still considered a mega fight, even though Holyfield had lost the bowl 2 out of 3 times. And, okay, let's address this. Holyfield was a battle-tested warrior. His first loss came to Bo, but he beat Bo in the rematch. Lost to Bo in the third fight. We all know about the hole in his heart of things that was going on, the complications. We know that. If you want to hype up a fight, yeah, you hype it up. So again, He's a battle-tested warrior. But when he fought Mike Tyson, don't get it twisted, Holyfield was seen as food. Because Holyfield fought against Bobby Ches, and no, he didn't knock Bobby Ches out. He was rocking him, clocking him with shots, and he wouldn't go down. Nobody thought Holyfield was going to win that fight. I was the only person that I knew that was saying if Holyfield can just, I mean, if he can take Tyson's punch, and what I meant by that, we know Holyfield got a jaw, is if he can, even like when he gets clocked, not get caught with combinations and take unnecessary shots. And he did. He basically, I always felt he was a better fighter than Mike Tyson. And it showed when they fought. And they made excuses for Mike Tyson. Okay, but to say it's the same thing, no, it's not the same thing. And we knew that Holyfield was diagnosed with having a hole in his heart, that he was going through some physical complications. Not a costume being too heavy for him. Not all these, oh, but this guy, the glove, no. Holyfield was accused of, you know, being a headbutter and all that nonsense and whatever. But at the same time, it's like, no. He made a comparison. He talked about Muhammad Ali never being able to defend the title like Ali did, Wilder doing things, defending the title 10 times. He did what Ali and Tyson didn't do, and or he's in the same boat with them. No. Tyson and Ali are multiple time champions. There's times that people, Howard Cosell said Ali was fighting bums at one point. Ali didn't have a right hand left. I mean, they all faced some kind of criticism at some point. And all of them. Holyfield, all of them. Holyfield never got his ass kicked until after he got to the, okay, I'm no longer, you know, he had shoulder injuries and all. He had things that was wrong. And we seen him later on in his career start to change things around. He was healthy again and he was winning fights. But at the same time, again, battle tested. Now, for them to say that he was losing for Mauricio Sulaiman to say that Wilder's fighting for his career, you have to look at the different situations. Now, like I said, even if someone says that was a bad choice of words, hey, I'm not even disputing that part. But the fact that he harped on it like that was some that's they're showing no loyalty to Deontay. He says Deontay defended the top belt for 10 times, had the belt for 5 years, and never did anything outside the ring to make you look at him any kind of way. And that basically they're not showing loyalty to him. They're mistreating Deontay Wilder. Look, Deontay Wilder was the most protected fighter, man. He was one of the most protected fighters. Two scrubs as mandatories. 2 soft touches as mandatories. Okay? And regardless, the fact that he put on a title that Deontay Wilder is going to vacate, okay, to denounce the WBC title after the trilogy. How do you know that? See, this is my thing. The same way they make up allegations about this whole Glovegate situation, right? Pause. Okay. The same way that they keep making all these different allegations and then they address the allegation like it's coming from other sources, when it's their opinions on basically what they see and certain things that they read, or they're the ones making these allegations the same way they're saying, Deontay's going to do this, Deontay's going to do that, Deontay's going to do this. Based on what? Now, if Deontay Wilder is not speaking about any of these things openly, why would you? Because for you to say that, and I watched about a half an hour, and then after a while, I'm like, all right, I heard enough. To know, Deontay Wilder never told him that. This is him looking at things the way that he wants to see it. If Deontay Wilder said right now, ahead of time, after I win this trilogy, I'm going to denounce this title. If him, okay, forget the fanboy channels. If Deontay Wilder felt like he was cheated, like they said that he said, right, that he felt like he was cheated. They said all these things, and I mean, a guy even said that Blue Blood spoke with Wilder, right? But nothing that he's saying is that Wilder said. This is him speaking saying things, making allegations on his own, what he thinks is going to happen. If Wilder thought that these guys were dirty and were going to cheat him, wouldn't he have to feel like that's not something I should say right now? Because if I don't knock Fury out, they might rob me because they know what I'm going to do with the belt after I'm done. You understand what I'm saying? So why would you even come out and say something like that? And I'm pretty sure, now I'm not a follower, I don't follow his channel, but the people that's on there, obviously they do. He has a lot of people on his channel. I'm pretty sure, along with them just checking in on his videos because they follow his channel, what they saw made them go, oh, wow, hold up. So again, you give a title to this particular video saying what Deontay Wilder is going to do, as if you know this, and basing it on, oh, they're not loyal to him, like why would he hold on to it? Okay, so is Wilder going to retire afterwards, or he's just going to fight for no title after that? Because AJ has all the other belts. So let's say if he beat Fury and he dropped the title, what sense does that make? So what is he going to do? Is he going to, okay, now that I beat him, now I want to fight against AJ? Well, if he did beat Fury, then there would be interest in him versus AJ all over again. Okay? Now, if Mauricio Sulaiman did say he's fighting for his career, yeah. If he loses this, who really wants to see him and AJ after he lost again? You understand what I'm saying? After the way he got destroyed in that rematch, and, you know, like Blue Blood, he's talking, but he's all over the place, man. He's just saying one thing, and he's just reaching for stuff, and when he's making a point, he goes into something else, and something else, and he makes all these examples, and it's like nothing has nothing to do with the other thing. But then I'm listening to him talk about how they didn't make these same claims about other fighters. Do people show favoritism? Of course, just like they show favoritism towards Deontay Wilder. Okay, because at the end of the day, let's look at it like this. If Anthony Joshua said, okay, because he had a situation he didn't like, and other people felt the same way towards Joshua, that he was being mistreated by different sanctioning bodies, okay? And he said, after I beat such and such, I'm going to drop the titles. You know what these guys would all be saying? The only reason he want to drop the titles is because he's scared to fight Wilder. He doesn't want to fight Wilder. So why would he drop the titles and tell some? Why would he tell you this ahead of time? He never told him that. This is his assumption of what he thinks should happen. And they make up these stories and then they talk as if it's actual life. Okay? If Deontay Wilder is planning on doing that, that's not something, you know, that's just like going to work, right? That's like somebody offer you a job and they tell you, but it won't be ready for another 2 months. But I'm guaranteeing you right now, I'll put it in writing, you are hired, right? You wouldn't go to your current job and say, hey man, listen, 2 months from now, nope. You might give them 2 weeks notice, 1 week's notice, and depending on your relationship with them, you might just, they find out when they see that, when they don't see me come back. People have done that, you know, or you might call them and say, hey, you know, yesterday was my last day, or whatever. Who knows? But you wouldn't go with them 2 months in advance. So right now, he's in training for a trilogy, and he's going to make an announcement that he's going to denounce the belt. No. If you want to make comparisons to other fighters, well, look how Riddick Bowe did it. Riddick Bowe, he threw the title in the trash. Okay? He didn't make no big announcement that he was going to come to that conclusion of throwing the title in the trash. He just did it. And nobody saw it coming. So again, this is not something Deontay Wilder has told his fanboys. This is his fanboys running back saying, this is what's going to happen, this happened. And then he said something about Fury's gloves. That now, the reason that these people are talking about things and certain channels are bringing it up, because we keep pressing the issue. We're bringing it to the forefront. This is why they're doing it. So they're going to have to address the fights now, on the situations now, because there's no huge crowds, and now they're going to have to, right? And then he mentioned the glove situation and said, now listen, Fury never said anything about, I'll never wear those gloves again. This is him creating these scenarios. And he said, if Fury all of a sudden now shows up and doesn't want to wear those gloves, right, without explanation, we're going to know why. Well, how come you don't want to wear those gloves again? So he's saying now if he comes in there to fight, he's going to have to win fair and square because he feel like the gloves are tampered with. So if nothing was wrong with these gloves, why wouldn't you want to wear them? Okay, what sense does this make? You guys already keep talking about Glovegate, Glovegate, Glovegate. And if the padding already, which the padding, okay, already what's known if those photos wasn't photoshopped, okay? But what's known is the fact that the padding is very thin. If it's a problem with going into to this, and Fury's aware of the Glovegate situation, because he addressed it after Marcellus Wilder said what he said. So if he already know that there's something, what do you think? You're going to show up with the gloves? Oh, let's investigate. Oh, padding was taken out of these, like this. So he's pretty much upset because, like they said, Fury is off the hook, something to that effect, about without an investigation. He's cleared without an investigation. What do you mean cleared? The allegations didn't come from Deontay Wilder. It came from his fanboy channels and basically other fighters that said they think the gloves are tampered with or whatever. No, Fury has to be Wilder. He has to be the one. Him and his team, not people just speaking, talking, but they have to. Hey, we want an investigation. Okay, Wilder should be the one leading the charge because he's the one there taking the punishment and he's the fighter. Wilder's not saying anything about anything. So all of this stuff about the allegations that's going to come out, things that's going to come out after the fight. Okay, well, check this out. What if he gets beat again? What's he going to do then? So win, lose, or draw, the evidence is going to come out, or is it going to come out only if he wins? And what evidence? What evidence? You see what I'm saying? They're all speaking like he has evidence. He has proof. Based on what? What proof does Deontay Wilder have? The same way you guys keep saying you have proof, but you keep saying and doing the same things. And for every time you try to add a new wrinkle and say, well, this happened, that happened. Oh, now sources say. No, it's no sources. It's you guys that keep creating these stories. Meanwhile, your fanboys, your sheep are blowing up your Patreons and they getting money. I mean, you just keep seeing $10 donation here, $10 donation here, $20 donation here, $5 here, $10 here. Yeah, you're making money off of this. And you guys keep saying the same things over and over. So to label your video the way you did, and then to say that he's going to denounce the title, and basically Wilder's not saying anything about anything. I mean, the clickbait, the lies, the allegations that you guys are calling proof. You know, it's like, no, what proof? So again, none of this makes any sense. None of it. None of it. And like I said, let's say if that's something that Wilder would have said, right, to Blue Blood or anybody off camera. The fact that he's not speaking about it himself, I don't think that it would make sense that he would want them to say anything that he's not saying. That would be some cowardly shit. I feel this way, but, you know, I need you to get that message out because I don't want to be the one to say it. But when you hear them speak, no, it's not him telling them anything. Not anything. And even for the guy, I think the guy name was Drew, that said, well, after the third fight, you know what I'm saying? We're going to expose this guy and get him up out of the sport, right? Did Wilder tell you that? Because he's not saying anything. And we go back and address everything that they said was going to happen. None of this came from Deontay Wilder's mouth. Besides the twerk video, the last thing we saw from Deontay Wilder was him sitting there talking about your king will rise from the ashes like a phoenix. The war has just begun, blah, blah, blah. Where is all of this? This is going to happen. That's going to happen. Look, man, this nonsense is BS. Fury's not getting suspended. And he said, what if after Fury after the fight, all these allegations come out to be true? What if then what? How they going to look then? That can be proven now. So if it's about not harming the third fight, okay, And there's no guarantee that this fight is going to be in front of a crowd either. We don't know how long this pandemic is going to go on. So even if there is a third fight, with or without a big crowd, the whole point in that is, I would want to know that this guy's clean before I even get in there. You understand what I'm saying? So if it's about him saying that he don't want the fight to be canceled because he wants his revenge, and all these things that you guys are saying that Wilder's going to do, you guys need to can that, because he can say something that will cause himself to be in some trouble. So for everybody that's making excuses or speaking for him, saying the reason he's not doing this or that is because of blah, blah, blah. Again, you're trying to make sense out of something that you don't have any information on. Okay, you know how to give you those word math problems and the answer is not enough information? That's what this is right here. Because the man is not saying nothing to anybody about anything. Do you think that if he did, that these guys would not say, I spoke to Deontay Wilder myself, and Deontay Wilder told me this, that, and the third? There was another guy that said Wilder spoke to Blue Blood. Blue Blood, he spoke to Wilder, and Wilder, you know, okay, what did he say? So if you're not going to say what he said, why even say that they spoke? Because to me, that would only make sense that he spoke to Blue Blood or anybody else that supports him behind closed doors for a reason. Not so you can go and give snippets of, and you understand what I'm saying? Like, no, that's not how that happens. Like, you certain things you know you don't need to say. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say on this video. I'll catch y'all on the next one.